listening to the Bathtub Refinishing Podcast. Powered by BathTubGuys Refinishing. We discuss the refinishing industry, interview owners and operators, and give tips to business owners and entrepreneurs. Now, here's your host, Daniel Montalvo.
I think at this point I should just add your name to the intro too, because you're like on every podcast.
I'm the co-host.
Yeah, pretty much, man.
I mean, that's pretty much our partnership at this point.
Yeah, it's been interesting. So one of the things I did want to talk about was kind of the business stuff that's changed. We've kind of turned more into like a corporate kind of a entity.
Yeah.
And that whole situation was kind of a headache to figure everything out. But I do think that it's going to open the door for us to do more things quicker. And then also, I feel like in the immediate, just offer a little bit more stability for the situation, especially with Tampa.
Yeah.
Because the problem was always the money.
Yeah.
And because of the investment, but also because of the way we're kind of putting everything together with both locations hand in hand, it's been a little bit easier to cash flow and kind of deal with those ebbs and flows of like figuring out the new coding and, callbacks and stuff, but making sure that everything's still afloat. And then with you specifically, I am happy that now you're on a salary and, kind of like heading the commercial sales, gives you a little bit more free time for stuff like that. You are still basically managing Tampa as far as like the techs and, when they need material and stuff. But I think ideally, from what I see, I think the biggest benefit so far has been being a little bit more hands off with the nitty gritty of the operations. Offering some more financial stability with Tampa for you, and then but also long term being part of the growth, because we did, the way the deal did work out, you have equity in Tampa's profits. So once we get over that hump where it's consistently profitable, that's gonna be a payoff too. And then I think looking at the bigger picture down the line, there will be more opportunity for stuff like that, especially when we get. I think what's going to be the biggest difference maker is going to be once this little Florida takeover thing happens, because everyone's responsibilities are going to be a little bit higher. And with that is going to come, obviously, probably better pay. That's like the number one thing, but also more opportunities to maybe even own a location or two somewhere else and have a manager or something. I don't know what the future is going to hold, but I do think that the plan that we kind of came up with of like, let's take over the state. And right now the office is like empty most of the time, but like we had one more location. It's going to get like, we need a staff. It's going to get like, we need these things. So these have all been like investments, and pretty much you invested you put the company back in our hands essentially. And I'm really grateful for that. I don't know if I like talked to you like about that nitty gritty like stuff, but I'm grateful for that because I feel like you put yourself and your ego aside and was like, let's build this thing up together. And I know that I'm going to be okay at the end of it. There's going to be a lot of opportunity that came from that situation, man. And I just feel like I want to thank you for that, bro. Because long term, bro, I'm going to hook it up, bro. You were there day one, bro. You were the first podcast guest that came in person. I didn't even know you. And I was like, I'm going to hook it up. So now we're talking about all these big ideas and big things. And I'm just glad that pretty much, bro, you showed me that like you're about the team, bro. And that to me means a lot, because there's a lot of people who wouldn't have done what you did. And would have just been super like, like greedy about it. And I think that we're on the right trajectory. I also think, bro, like one of the things about you in particular is that because of the operations and stuff, you didn't really have the time to do one of the things you do best, which is fucking sell.
Yeah.
You're really you're really personable with people. You're good at talking to them and getting them to do things. Like when you invite people over to your family's lounge, like they'll come.
Yeah.
Things like that. When people trust you, they listen to you, you're good in conversation. That translates to sales.
Yeah.
And that helps everything. So,
Yeah.
yeah, man, I think it's going to be good. And I long term, just know, bro, that as we go, you're coming with us, and there's going to be opportunity for down the line for make more money,
Yeah.
more fun, more cool things to do. I remember when we first partnered for Tampa, one of the things you told me was like, I really just want to see it at the table for these big decisions, and I don't want to be left behind if something happens. And I think what we did together in coming together with how we are doing Tampa now, I think that secures that more than ever, because you know how it is. You have PSG. You were also managing the Tampa phone, and it does sometimes get out of hand.
Yeah.
Especially when real life is there too.
Yeah.
And so like things like this are easier to do. When we're talking about going and meeting Pat for R&D in Boston, you're coming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and just things like that, where it would be a little bit harder if you had to balance two businesses and all these things all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I think long term it's going to be good. And, I'm honestly, bro, I'm grateful that you did what you did. And that's why I'm saying, like, I'm going to hook it up, bro. When we make it to the next level, you're going to be right there with us. But yeah, man, that's just something I wanted to talk about. What for you, what do you think was like the main determining factor as to why you made the decision you made?
A couple of different reasons. So the first one is I believe in you. You know, so I know your strong suits. We've been working together for years.
I know.
So it's not like we just signed this deal and we didn't know who we are.
Isn't it crazy?
We've been friends for years.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So we were partners with Tampa for years, 2 years before this deal even started. We restructured the deal, and because I was there and I watched the dynamics of the deal go through, I understood why things went the way they did. But the main reason was I believe in you. So I wouldn't partner with someone or give up equity in a situation if I didn't believe the person that's leading the vision is the right person for that position, right?
Yeah.
I also wanted to offer, I invested years of my life training these technicians and building the foundation of this business.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want to jeopardize that, losing that investment.
Yeah.
Right. So as things grow and move, you have to be fluid.
Yeah.
And so it was a mixture of, one, do I trust you and do I believe in you, which I do. The second one was I wanted to protect the investment that I've put in all these years in, where I could continue to beat my head against the wall. Like, and we know most refinishers that aren't heavy on capital go through the same issues. Yep. The ebbs and the flows, getting guys, losing guys, getting guys, losing guys. I was trying to build stability. And that's difficult without the funds. So when we had access to the funds, that's what needed to be done. And then the third thing was you allowed me to continue to run my cabinet operation in conjunction with our deal. Yeah. Which was for me, was like, okay, so we can make this work. I have my salary here. I want to be a part of the winning team. Yeah. You know, and that's what we were talking about in the beginning. We just needed an investor, and we got it. So we made that happen, and in return, it does free me to do what I do best, which is go build connections with people. Mm-hmm. And so that's, been helping us because we've been leveraging contracts with, general contractors, a lot of other B2B in Tampa, because I'm out there, making those connections now. Yeah. So yeah, I think that it was those core aspects, trust and belief in you and your vision. That I probably wasn't going to build the same type of legacy with the bathtub world. And I kind of knew that. I like my cabinets because it's just something, it just comes more natural building that side of it. But I know this and I know this well, and we've worked so well together. I was like, fuck it, why not? Yeah. Stability. and the shit's just gonna work, dude.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, it's like either just join the team or fuck off and move over, that wasn't an option. We've already put years into this.
Yeah.
So we made it happen.
Yeah, and one of the things, even from the jump, you always worked with me in a respectful way. Like when we partnered up for the Puerto Rico thing and some of the other projects in Florida that we did, like you never came at it like, hey, bro, it's going to be like a 90-10 split. Like you were always like, bro, 70-30, something like reasonable. You always, you never let me like, if you were managing the project, I knew it was going to get done.
Yeah.
That's another reason why I was comfortable with the situation from the beginning is like, I know that Jonathan is going to do right by me no matter what. And so like it just fit. And I feel like that's why we work well together too. And going back to the cabinet thing for a second, it has kind of shown like with a potential of what this relationship could build. Because when I went to that house that we did recently,
sold the job.
we sold the cabinet job and the refinishing job at the same time. It's
definitely going to help because as I'm canvassing, my mind's running in a way where it's like, all right, what can we do for you? I look at our teams like, yeah, we have our two separate companies, but our guys are our guys.
Yeah.
And we've even mixed our employees to get certain types of projects done. I can pull from the cabinet operation. Or this week we were doing a collab, a PSG and a BTG collab at a property, doing the countertops, tubs, showers, cabinets, and throughout the entire home.
Yep.
And the way I was able to structure the labor was beneficial to both companies.
Of course.
I was like, all right, so all of you guys are going to come to this project and we're going to knock this thing out super fast, super efficient without wasting time because we're paying a prepper from BTG salary, right? But if he's only working fucking 3 to 8 hours, go get started on that shit and get it going. And everyone's, it just works. And
that's why collaboration is an important thing. Like a lot of people don't realize the doors that open for you just by starting to talk to other people.
Yeah.
This entire business relationship we're in, our relationship with Patrick, our relationship with Danny Garcia, all those things started because we started talking to other people. And there's some people that don't see value in that, but usually it's the guys that don't have much going on.
Yeah.
Realistically, man, like you need to get out of your own bubble. You need to hear what other people are doing because they might know like an aspect of something that you don't know and you be able to pick off that and vice versa.
Yep.
We never did like cabinets like that. But now, like, if I get a cabinet job, I sub it to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I make some money, you make some money. And now if you get a bathtub something job, vice versa, it's like real networking and really like collaborating together to build something bigger.
And the way we've kind of organized it is like, we're all eating from every angle.
Exactly.
Like no lead, no opportunities going to waste.
That's literally what Danny Garcia told me, that like part of his sales strat is like, he wants to come off as the one-stop shop. Like right now, we're kind of the refinishing one-stop shop. Cabinets, you get tubs, tiles, counter, like between both companies.
Yep.
And with what we have cooking up down the line with Julian, like then we're truly going to be in a different stratosphere, I think.
And with a team, because, I mean, our team is getting pretty big.
It is.
Considering how many techs we have. Now we have management between me, you, your brother, all in management. And these are all like owners.
Yep.
So they all have that same mentality. It's not like hiring just some fucking manager who doesn't give a shit. Like, especially in Tampa, it's like I started Tampa.
Exactly.
You know, the guys that are working for Tampa right now are those guys that I trained to do the job that they're doing. So there's a different type of like loyalty to that. So the team that and then we got Julian over there who's cooking up some good shit, and that's going to really change the game for us. And he's blood. It's like you can't. What more you want?
and he's also
Avengers.
Like, think about Julian, bro, and it's just really surprised me, bro. It's like, yeah, we're family and stuff, but he has a refinishing company in our town, and still, bro, I don't care what anybody says. I still helped my cousin. I got his Google ads going. He's in my backyard, but he's family. I'm gonna help my family, and so like, I'm kind of helping my competition to an extent.
Yeah.
But then we got to talking. He met some of the people I met, and kind of his goals for himself changed, where he's like, maybe I don't need to be the number one bathtub guy. Maybe I could just start my GC thing, try to become a general contractor, and that'd be my lane.
Yeah.
But maybe I will join the Bathtub Guys team in a way somehow, and still have ties to that industry, but realistically, he's essentially what he's doing is he's building his own legacy thing that he can have for himself. And I mean, you saw him in Boston talking about joining up with us.
Yeah. I mean, it's contagious, especially when you get around the energy of a winning team and everyone's on board and ready to do it. You can't help but want to get a part of it. And that's kind of what we're doing with Tampa. We talked about a little bit earlier about how we're going to start recruiting more people to join the BathTub Guys team throughout the nation eventually, which is the goal. But we need to prove concept that we are the best.
Exactly.
And with Tampa, as we document our journey, we're going to show it.
Yeah.
On how we went from Orlando, then we took an existing refinishing company, and with the right system, processes, and products, can take it into a multi-million-dollar company.
Yep.
And then repeat that process throughout Florida.
And then
we get more hungry guys and girls who want to build these multi-million-dollar locations with us and implement our system, brand, and processes.
Yep.
And there we go. Now we're competing with Miracle Method.
Yeah, which I honestly think, man, that they should be worried, man, because they're a legacy company. They suck at social media. One thing I will give them credit for, though, and a lot of people who are in refinishing say Miracle Method sucks. They don't suck for the reason you say. Like they do a good job. Like, find me a Miracle Method location that has 3 stars. They almost don't exist. Most of them are 4-star plus, and that's really hard to do as a franchise because you are doing a lot of work.
Yeah,
you're doing a lot of volume stuff, and they also charge a lot, so the expectation is a little higher.
Yeah.
So I think that aspect is impressive, but with the systems that we have in place, the coding system in particular, and just the team that we're kind of assembling around this, I just don't see how it's not going to work. I've always said it. This industry, to me, is still relatively untapped. And as things get more expensive and remodels get more expensive, but also another aspect of all this that people don't talk about enough is as tradespeople become more rare, the value of all this stuff is going to go crazy.
Yeah.
Because people aren't growing up anymore saying, I want to be a certified GC. That's just not, that's people are figuring that out in their mid-30s. There's a whole generational gap there where it's how many of these GCs do we meet there in their mid-60s still working? It's because there's a lot of them like that.
Yeah.
And it's because the next generation is kind of lagging behind a little bit.
Yeah, in the trades world.
And the trades world. A lot of these companies aren't owned by guys in their 20s and 30s, man.
No, hell no.
They're mid-30s and 40s.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
we got a lot of youth.
Exactly.
on our team for sure.
That's another thing, that I feel like is a big leg up. We understand the internet better than a Miracle Method does.
Yeah.
I wholeheartedly believe that.
We fit, the 3, me, you, and your brother, we fit everybody in their perspective roles where they're the strongest at. So you're the brand guy, right? You build an established brand presence. We got the podcast. I pretty much assist you with whatever the fuck we need to do on that front. Your brother is pretty much full residential sales, bro. He's just nonstop. And then my job is commercial sales and ops in Tampa because I'm on the forefront on the ground over there.
Yep.
And we got everybody, and by Alex taking over residential sales, it's really alleviated pressure off of me to get back to 10, 15 customers a day.
Yeah.
And try to run ops and try to canvas, and then now you don't have to answer the phone and you can focus on, okay, what's the next move? What are we going to do here with the brand? Who's the next podcast guest? What content are we dropping today? And it for once, it seems almost like we have this fucking system.
It's working.
Yeah. Whenever there's an issue, it's there's somebody's available to do something about it.
Literally. And one of the things I was thinking about too is even though Tampa is not super profitable right now. I mean, we've had to invest a lot in it, right?
Yeah.
But one of the things that to me has been a leaving really is I'm thinking about it now, and everything's actually costing us half because there's 2 companies that are generating revenue, benefiting from the same thing. So the new marketing agency we're working with, $5,000 a month. Well, it's actually 25 per location.
Yeah.
And as we grow, it's now split into 3 and 4. And that's where these things start to become really profitable.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think bigger picture here. It's like,
what's also interesting about Tampa though is that it may not be profitable, but a lot of people are making more money.
Yep.
And and more jobs are getting done, so it's self-efficient.
Exactly.
Does that make sense?
It's keeping up with its costs,
its needs. Yeah.
So we're gonna hit that point where there's a hump and we start going up.
Yeah.
And I usually see it really click in when there's 3 full-time techs every day. When that happens, usually everything is starts getting really good, because you got to think, if 1 or 2 of them do 2 jobs a day, plus, you're thinking about 4 or 5 jobs a day at that point.
Yeah.
And that gets to be a lot of production. The money is good. But what I'm thinking about is we have 10 locations in the future, right? Like the marketing agency still is going to cost me $5,000, but now it's split between 10 different places.
Yeah.
And the picture becomes clearer when you start thinking of okay, this is what an investment is, right? It's like we're taking a little bit of a hit now while building it.
Yeah.
But as we build it, all these things are going to pay off, and it's going to allow us to do better things faster and realistically, just dominate, bro.
Yeah.
Because I don't know of any refinishing company that it has done some of the things we've been doing recently. I mean, the marketing agency thing really came to me because as professionals, right, we don't want the customer to do a DIY. We want them to trust a professional.
Yeah.
Why? Because that's our job, is to make sure your tub comes out good, right? And I always scoffed at the idea of a marketing company, but then I started thinking of it and I was like, look, if they suck, well, then I am as good as I think I am, right? If they're better, then I'm just abiding by the same logic that I would give to a customer. Let the professionals show you what a professional job is.
Yeah.
And if there's a significant difference, then there's a lot of value there, right?
Yeah.
So that's my thinking behind trying it.
Yeah.
And it's an investment, and we're going to see how it goes. I do have a good feeling about them, though. They're highly reviewed, and they do, work with high profile people around here. But yeah, I don't see a lot of refinishing companies putting in, big investments. I was talking to a gentleman the other day, really cool guy, but he told me he was $600K liquid and was afraid of hiring a technician.
Yeah, it's crazy.
A one-man show. I'm like, well, bro, if you're not going to risk it at $600K, you ain't built for it, bro.
Yeah,
bro,
crazy.
We had technicians when we had $200 in the bank account.
Yeah, that's the only way. Also on the marketing front, though, you also put in the sweat equity to understand how to work with these agencies.
True.
Because that's something that me and you both ran into in the beginning of our businesses, is hiring third-party agencies, but then not knowing what to expect. Are you getting fucking scammed? Is there any real results? Am I just wasting money?
Yeah, and part of the thing that had to happen was getting out of this mindset that a lot of people had. I had it in the beginning, where advertising is too expensive. But the thing is, a lot of these people, including me, I was getting results and complaining when it was $1,000 a month. Oh, really, $1,000?
Yeah.
And then now I look back and I'm like, I missed the $1,000 days where I can get 3 techs busy for $1,000 a month.
Yeah, it's all about how much money you got on hand, bro. If you confront the investment, we know now the recipe to get results.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. So I'm seeing this as an opportunity to better educate myself, because if it does work, the great thing about the agency we're working with is that they show me what they're doing.
Yeah.
And there's no contract. So they're like, look, everything we do is for you. And if you want to use this for 3 months and just copy what we're doing, that's fine. But what we hope is that we're going to impress you so much, you're going to let us keep doing more. Yeah. And that agency in particular is really cool because they let us kind of choose what we want them to do. Yeah. So once Google Ads is set up, for a lot of people who don't know, is once it's set up, it's kind of just plug and play. Every now and then you audit the keywords, make sure you're not coming out for BS words. But there's going to come a point where Google Ads is working and there's nothing to touch. So where are they going to go next? Facebook, LinkedIn, maybe some ground game stuff. or traditional advertising avenues, but we get to decide that.
Yeah.
And get as much value out of that partnership as possible. So that's something cool that I think is gonna pay off. That's just a thought I had though. It's like sometimes it's kind of hard to see the big picture, even when you're the guy with the fucking vision.
Yeah.
It's hard because the real world hits you every day.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen it, bro. We have the cards, the company cards, and because you guys don't have bulk orders and stuff, like, and we started doing that, but like every day getting paper tape and stuff from Home Depot, it's like
shit's adding up.
$150, $200 a day, $1,000 a month, and you're like, Jesus. But because we've been doing all these investments and all that other stuff is happening at the same time, we have gone through a lot of money, but we've also invested a lot of it into things that are gonna pay off.
Yeah.
And then once the payoff happens, we're all gonna feel good about everything. But without risk, there's no reward. And so, like, you know, to the guy with the 600K liquid, I told him, I was like, look, if you have qualms about hiring somebody, and you have 600K liquid in the bank from one man showing tubs, maybe being a business owner with employees isn't your thing, bro. Because like you have to be risk tolerant to build a business.
Yeah.
You know, I get uncomfortable every single time I spend money, but I still do it because I know what it takes to get to that next level.
Yeah.
And you know it too, bro. I mean, you're in business.
Yeah, we've been doing this for years, bro.
Yeah, it hurts.
We're
my
just
soul.
at a different level now.
Yeah,
it's like we were playing, you know, from the ground game to now having multiple locations, teams, you know, people in set places, expectations are being met.
Yep.
You know, and with the foresight of growth, you know, we're not really worried about if it's gonna come. We're just like wondering how fast and how big.
Yeah, it's gonna pay off, man. All these things that we did, it's just a matter of time, and realistically, especially I think in 2025, once everything settles into the place where everything is going 100%, because our guys here in Orlando are still getting adjusted to it. We have like Little Angel who came back and needs to get a little bit more like in tune because he was away from refinishing for months and months.
Yeah.
But once everything settles in, man, we're gonna be pretty unstoppable, man.
And then, you know, once we start closing these big commercial accounts, which it takes time,
Yep.
you know, to get them and some groundwork, but that's a whole nother avenue.
Well, now we have, see, this is the thing, man. We've had projects in Orlando where people were the problem. And now, I mean, somebody tells me 15 tubs a day, we're not even sweating, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it is going to be crazy to see what we can do now.
When we get the roll on.
Oh, yeah.
The roll on so fast when you get good with it.
And we're in the perfect place for it. We already do a lot of hotels, but now we get to bid on them, telling them no smell, no noise. Like, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a game changer.
It is. It's already working at the Advent Health, man, which, you know, just touching on it again, no other refinishing company in Florida can get in there because they don't have the system we have.
Yeah.
It's a hospital, it's active. If somebody smells something that has some sort of sensitivity or something, they're going to try to sue the hospital. They're going to freak out. It's going to be a shit show.
Yeah.
But because, you know, we took the risk with something different and we're starting to like learn it and put it into practice, it's opened doors for us already. Yeah. And that happened like 2 weeks into using the product.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We tested the product on site. Like, that's how fucking ballsy we are. Is like, go to a fucking hospital, and we worked with it in Boston.
Yep.
We dibble dabbled with it on a couple fiberglass units, personal things.
And then we went.
And then we went and sent it, and it's like we figured it out. And now it's like we landed that account, and that account's going to lead to more hospitals.
Yep.
And once we get known as that, it's just a wrap.
Yeah, I mean, you start to become associated with the ones that do the hospitals, and then you know, you put that on a website and someone sees it. It's like, wow, if they're trusted at Advent Health, what else? It just starts building and building, man. It's gonna be really cool to see where all this stuff takes us, man. I'm excited. What are you looking forward to most next year, man?
Just fucking doing better, growing, just continuing. I mean, we're pretty much committed on this journey, bro.
Yeah.
So growing the businesses as big as we can get them in 2025, and we've talked a lot. We've talked a lot on the podcast. We've dropped a lot of content. I know people watch us.
Yep.
They watch us on social media. They watch who we're meeting with and, you know, where we're going. And it's going to be good to show it now because we've actually made the deals. We have the product. We've worked out this cruise. And now it's a matter of, like, proving that BathTubGuys is going to be the next fucking miracle method.
What makes it real for me, man, a lot of the time is when I open up that truck GPS app and I just see all these freaking trucks on the map and I'm just like, oh my God.
It's crazy, right?
What are we doing, bro? You know, I open it up now and between both locations there's 9 trucks now.
I mean, I think about you sometimes. I'm like, you know, how's Danny must feel? You're trusting in me a lot.
Yeah.
You're trusting in that, like, I'm over there doing what I say I'm doing and that these guys are, like, upholding your brand standards. Because at the end of the day, with the merger, you also did incorporate, absorb all the risk, you know, behind it. So, like, if it's your brand at stake, the investment is, you know, your company's investment. So, you know, I think about that. I'm like, how does it feel for you to, you know,
I mean,
to
really
be operating on the next level?
It goes back to just being risk tolerant and knowing you have to believe in yourself, bro. Like if you can't believe in yourself, you shouldn't be doing any of this stuff. That's to do what we're aiming for is unprecedented, bro. And that means we need to be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And it was a lot and it was stressful to like think now I'm absorbing all these people and paying out a salary, but then you sit down and you start to dissect it and it's like, Jonathan's adding immense value. And 1,000% of it might not be applicable today, but I know in a few months, I'm going to be like, God damn, bro. Like Jonathan is fucking making us hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Same thing with Angel and Little Angel and buying the trucks and wrapping them. Like we spent a lot of money quick.
Yeah.
But more so we invested it, right? Like it's an investment in the future with you, with them, building a real team and a solid core to build off of. And the way I see it is, look, man, realistically, even though it felt a little bit like there was a pressure there, I think back to what I started with, which was like a business that was $10,000 in debt, no jobs on the schedule, no money.
Yeah.
And right now, like when I put it into context, I'm operating from a crazy amount of leverage
From where we were. Yeah.
So I'm like, if with what I know now, if I don't make it work, then I'm a fraud.
Yeah.
Because I've turned Orlando from nothing into a multi-million-dollar fucking location.
Yeah.
Right. So at the very least, Tampa should be successful, turning a profit. But realistically, it's going to become another beast.
It's going to become a beast faster than you created your beast.
Oh, yeah.
Because the groundwork is there.
Yep.
And that's where, like you said, that initial investment is something you didn't have.
Exactly.
The first time, or I never had either.
Yeah.
That's why the whole thing needed to happen, because we both were like starting from ground zero, and we worked our asses to be where we're at today.
Yeah.
To be able to even talk like about this deal and where it's headed in the
For
future.
the deal to even happen.
Yeah.
Like why and how does someone who's met you 2 or 3 times invest in you monetarily and also trust you with his entire product line? It's because you showed that there's something to believe in there, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like, yeah, I got to buy into the vision too, right? Like I could keep Orlando and sit on it forever, but like if I truly believe I am who I am, which I do, then I got to prove it somewhere else.
And then I had the same logic when I agreed to the deal for Tampa was I don't necessarily look at it like I'm an employee for some reason, because I have an owner operator mindset.
But you're not, bro.
It's like I'm selling my skill sets. What can I do for Daniel, for example, is like I can build a business. I've done it multiple times. It's like, so I'm like, I'm selling. Your service changes, right? So it went from refinishing to now helping you build refinishing businesses with the experience that I've gathered over the last few years. Which is so much cooler. Yeah, which is honestly like what me and you were when before all of this was ever really like real. And we were just sitting talking shit at the table, smoking cigars. We were talking about how we're gonna partner up, and that I'm gonna do what I do, and you're gonna do what you're doing, and then we're gonna just fucking take it to the next level. And the fact that we took our shit talking to real results is pretty wild, bro.
It's wild. And look, bro, you know how I know it's real? You know how I know we're actually doing it? Is that there's other people starting to get nervous.
Yeah.
There's some unsolicited phone calls I got from a certain someone over there.
Yeah.
Who's a little scared, it sounds like.
Yeah. I mean, it's coming. I mean, we have the team, the funding. What else you need? I mean, we were competing either way, but now we have backing and support. So it's inevitable.
And look, man, love to everybody out there, man, but business is business. And if you're worried about us coming to your market and effing stuff up, do better.
Yeah.
Because we are coming. Like, It is what it is. I got a DM from someone asking, "Oh, are you going to come to this market?" And I was like, maybe, probably. I'm not going to miss out on a huge market just because you're there.
Yeah, no, that's not how capitalism works.
No.
Now you can also join the team.
Hey, that's
because
also
we would like to take the best. Come open a location with us.
Yep.
And and hopefully we can set you up.
And this is going to be the message. I think this is going to be the one that I post for the end of the year. So I'm going to let this episode go a little longer, but this is the message I want to give to people out there for that. What you just said. Look, we're coming. Like, y'all aren't ready for what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. We have people in positions, like we have a real corporate structure we're building here. Somebody whose sole job is to advertise better than you. Someone whose sole job is to sell better than you. Someone whose sole job is to answer every residential client within 2 minutes. Someone whose sole job it is to do the job. Like your one-man show is not going to be able to compete. So you're either going to have to get better or join the team.
Yeah.
So when that opportunity presents itself, I will make it known. And, if you can't beat them, join them. But I'm going to tell you, man, it's going to be hard to beat what we're doing. We're coming, bro. Yeah. And we're already showing like what we're doing in Tampa. And
we're not coming for you. We're just coming to be the best.
Oh no, we're coming for you. Hey, bro, I'm sorry, man. Like I look, bro. Business is a lot of things. But when you break it down, it's like, I want to be the best. To be the best, I gotta show up, right?
Yeah.
So if you're dominating your small town in Missouri, like, you better be ready because I'm coming for you, bro. Because I need to be up here. Yeah. So like, it's happening. It's not. I'm not gonna attack you personally. I'm not doing any of that. I'm not gonna kill you. But in a business sense, like, we're coming to take over.
Yeah.
We want to be the next Miracle Method.
Yeah.
We want to be better than them. And we're gonna build an empire. I always tell Danny Garcia, bro. There's a quote from Breaking Bad, and that shit to me resonates, bro. When Walter White tells one of the guys, I forgot who he's talking to, but he's like, "I'm not in the meth business." He's like, "I'm in the empire business."
Oh yeah.
I always tell Danny, I'm like, "I'm not in the tub business, bro. I'm in the empire business." Like, I'm trying to fucking build something that's unshakable, unmovable. And again, that's why I say, like, we have people dedicated to things that you could only do 25 minutes a day, bro.
Yeah.
And that's all they do for 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week,
yeah.
365 days a year.
Yeah.
So if you're not going to get good, you either join up or just get ready for what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Much love to all of you, but it's coming. Like, it's it.
It's going to be at least 50 bathtub locations.
I mean, yeah, it's coming. Man. And so, like, when the opportunity comes where, we could have some of you guys come on, I hope you do. And then we help change the industry together. But if you don't, that's also cool. Respect to you. You can call me, ask me for advice, whatever. I'm still that kind of guy. But just know, I'm helping you. I'm also working towards defeating everything in my path. If you happen to be there, that's collateral damage, buddy. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And this is also going to show people that it's possible.
Yeah.
Because, like no one's done it besides Miracle Method.
Yep. There's a few others, but
that have given it a good shot.
But we have so many things going hand in hand. And we have a dedicated guy tweaking the product for us. Anything we don't like about it gets adjusted. I mean, Miracle Method doesn't have that.
Yeah.
Like, you see that we're operating from a little bit more leverage than some of these other companies that have tried it. And I feel like it's just enough to put us over the edge to make us undeniable.
Yeah.
And it's going to happen. It's already started happening.
It's already started, brother.
Yep. So for 2025, that's one I'm looking forward to the most. I think by this time next year, we're really going to be surprised by where we're at. Yeah. But I think it's going to be beyond Tampa. It's going to be, I think we're going to be like 4 or 5 locations in before the end of the year or more. And we're going to be like, dang, it really did just happen that quick.
Shit.
We're going to be busy motherfuckers.
I know.
But yeah, usually at the end of the year, I do talk a little bit about the year's performance. But I really don't have the numbers. But from what I checked on the P&L, I think we did like 1.6 or something like that.
Okay.
Which is good. But I do still have some stuff invoiced out. It's not going to equate to a shit ton. But
yeah,
we did do slightly better than last year, which is cool.
Yeah.
But I think, we had a lot of strange things going on between. We kind of like got a complete new crew early this year. It feels like they've been with us forever, but like it literally has been since like February.
Yeah.
And also losing money on some stuff because we didn't have the right people. And so we're doing well, but we're looking to do better with that. And, going forward, I know we're on the right freaking path, man.
Yeah, at the end of the day, outside, even through the empire, we've just solidified our locations.
Yep.
Like, we're unshakable in fucking Central Florida.
Yeah.
From Tampa to Orlando, we got the guys, we got the experience, the funds, and the businesses. So we've done just on that.
Yep.
For us and our families, we've secured it. We've secured the bag for sure.
Yep. I'm going to do shout outs to people, number one, Danny Garcia. Thank you for everything, bro. You always look out. Always are giving us advice, bro. I text him almost every day now.
Yeah, it's the
really
big
cool
bro.
Dude. For real, bro. Came out to Nashville with us and was there with us with the product and stuff.
Yep.
And from what I understand, he's still very interested in being involved. So we'll see what happens with that. Patrick from RBS, bro. Really, man, believing in us. I didn't know you from a freaking hole in the wall, bro. Came on the podcast, came to meet me in person. And when I knew me and Patrick clicked on what we had vision-wise was when he came to my shop, the old shop, and we were there. He came at 8 a.m. and we stopped talking for it was like 6 p.m. when we finally stopped talking.
Yeah.
Enough to where when I called, so that day Ruben came, and he got there at night. When he called me, Patrick had just gotten there, and he was still in Georgia.
Yeah.
He made it to Orlando, and me and Patrick were still talking.
Yeah.
So we shared a lot of common goals in the vision, but I'm glad that you entrusted in us to, as much as you're taking a risk working with our brand and trusting our brand, we're doing the same thing, and I hope that you see that too. Like, a lot of respect we have for RBS and what you're doing with the product, and just kind of how available you've been, how responsive you've been to questions about change and stuff like that. I think that long term, that is something that is really going to be for the best of everybody.
Yeah.
Shout out to Michelle too, man. Danny Garcia's wife, really cool. She gave me a lot of insight too on earlier this year on how they structure, their service calls for apartments and like the paperwork they make them sign and tenant disclosures. And it's stuff that's helped us here kind of understand how a bigger operation does it. Because once we get there, it's going to be it's going to be stuff we have to think about. Also, compliance agencies. She got me hooked up with Compliance Depot and Vendor Cafe and all these places.
Yeah.
And showed me kind of how to work that too. So shout out to her. Shout out to Ruben, bro. He's the brother, bro.
Hell yeah.
He came up there too. We had a good time, man. when we went to Fenway and did all that stuff, it was a good time. Him and Evan showed up. My cousin Julian, All Tub and Tile, man, he's really surprised me because he turned his whole life around, bro.
Yeah.
From getting right with his health situation, but also, and I need to get on that shit too. But
just we gotta throw the gym up in the office, bro.
So we gotta do, bro. I see that's gonna be part of your job description now, bro. Personal trainer type shit. But I did find a picture I'm gonna show you off air of like, bro, I was like twice the size of this. I don't even you don't feel it when it's
you don't
happening.
realize it's a slow creep.
Yeah, for sure. But shout out to him because everyone was like, oh my God, how are you gonna help somebody that's in your backyard? And it's my cousin, right? But at the same time, Julian is enough of a guy with like morals and like he has his own conscience where he's like, you know what, bro, Danny helped me and he's trying to do this thing and I understand his vision. So it's not that I'm going to step away from the industry, but maybe I find a way where I can do my own thing and join in his thing and just now we all benefit from something. Yeah. It's kind of like he's in a way I feel like it. I don't know exactly if that's what it is, but it's like he's trying to pay me back for how I helped him. Yeah. And he's like, no, bro, when I do this GC thing, it's all of us, everyone together, me, you, my brother, and just one thing that we could all do together that, it takes a little bit more sacrifice, but it's gonna be a cool thing that we cook up in the future too. And, to the techs that we have, man, all of you guys are great. We're really thankful. They come in every day and do what they got to do, man. So we're grateful for that. And aside from that, man, if I forgot somebody, sorry, but I got to wrap it up. But yeah, man, it's been a good year.
It's been a great year.
And 2025 is going to be...
It's going to be even crazier.
It's going to be even crazier.
Yeah, I don't think the shit is stopping.
No, we're going to be unshakable. Any last words, Jonathan?
No, man, it's been a great year. I'm excited for what 2025 has to hold, and I'm enjoying the process of us getting deeper into the industry, bro. Yeah. Like leaving we're not just on the service front anymore. We have say and we have influence in the manufacturing process now, and that I think is pretty interesting.
I think it's all super interesting. The people you meet, the connections we're making, and friendships, really, bro. Because I consider Danny Garcia and Patrick friends now. It's different.
If we weren't, we shouldn't be doing business with them.
For sure, man. Yeah. They're peers. You know what I mean? And so that's really cool. And that's one of the reasons I started this whole thing was to just talk and meet people. But it's turned into a bigger thing, man. Oh, yeah. It's turned into a bigger thing, and I couldn't be more grateful.
We intend to drop a lot more episodes next year as well, by the way.
Yeah. And one thing for anybody, look, man, if anybody out there wants to start a podcast about this, about anything, just remember, man, it's not about how many people see it. It's about the quality of people that see it. Yep. Patrick was a guy who came across the podcast and invested in our business twofold with his product and with some financial resources also. And, it went from essentially doing something for free to this thing opened up this gigantic door for us that is going to better the business long term. So I encourage anybody to do it. Anybody who's interested in coming on, come on. Yep. And yeah, man, we're looking forward to 2025.
Absolutely.
All right, let's wrap it up. I'm going to go ahead and end it here, and I'll see you guys next year.
See you guys later.
You've been listening to the Bathtub Refinishing Podcast. If you liked what you heard, be sure to keep up with the Bathtub Guys on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, or visit BathTubGuys.com for more. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.